Hi, hey everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to the WTCF podcast. It's Sterling here and want to go ahead and cover this week's intention. And it looks like this. If we can be anything in this world, then let us be kind. With it now getting into December, the weather has gotten a hell of a lot colder, and a big focus for the intentions this month are around kindness. Again, there could be a lot of stress when it comes to holidays, whether it be shopping or dealing with family members. Again, we just got done with Thanksgiving, and lo and behold, no big issues this time around, um, which is kind of strange. Usually, there's some kind of incident that'll go ahead and kind of get in the way. So, want to go ahead and just talk about a few of the things that we can learn from. If it can be anything in this world, let us be kind, and kind of take note of why it's important, and then why it can be kind of hard. So we'll start off with why it can be kind of hard. With our patients being thinned, our stress levels can be high or we feel drained. In these moments, it can be difficult to extend kindness, especially to others, or expect it in return. So we can have a lot of issues that are out there where somebody else behaves poorly and we just respond. And we don't necessarily have to, right? Their emotional state, what they're going through is their own problem, not necessarily yours. So if somebody else is mad, that's on them to go ahead and handle it. You don't have to respond with anger. So one of the things that could be helpful is just to not really respond to those things and meet them where they expect to be met, right? Like if they're already angry, they're kind of expecting you to be angry too. And if you don't meet them with that, it really catches them off guard and kind of gets them to second guess maybe they weren't making some of the right decisions on that one. Also, feeling kind can make you feel a bit vulnerable. When we extend ourselves to others, there's always a risk that our efforts will be dismissed or unappreciated. In some cases, being kind may be making sacrifices or putting others' needs ahead of our own, which can be emotionally and mentally taxing. So, when it comes to things around the studio, I've had a lot more help from my family in terms of like getting events kind of set up more. Like, I still have a full time job. I'm teaching upwards of 20 to 30 classes a week. I think I'm averaging about 22 classes a week. I should go ahead and bring that down so it's not like 50 classes. Yeah, I'm probably doing somewhere around like 40 to 42 classes every pay period. Um, and again, I enjoy for the most part, but I know that I'm spending a lot of time teaching when I could be doing other things to help run the business smoother, and I'm just not able to do that yet. So I'm very thankful that my family has jumped in. They came in and made the studio look incredibly pleasant for Candy Cane Lane. So there's like Christmas decorations already up, and they're starting to come up with other ideas. There's even a walk this weekend. So if you're in the Forest Park area from 6 to 9 p.m. This Friday the 6th, yeah, this Friday the 6th, there's a lot of open houses. So we'll have movies playing and we'll just be trying to have fun with whatever we can. On that one, again, trying to cultivate some kindness. Um, Here's how we can go ahead and start to work on some of that within ourselves. It's just kind of starting off small. Whether it's something simple like pay it forward, but not a lot of people have money for it. So whether you're holding the door for somebody or paying a genuine compliment, this isn't the weird flirting techniques that a lot of people will go ahead and go with, or just kind of going about your day in a positive mood can actually help you be a little bit more kind. So start small and little baby steps, and then practice it from within yourself, right? It's hard to pour anything out of an empty cup. So as we need some time to kind of refill for ourselves, with a nice reminder that you're going to have tough days, you're going to fail, you're going to mess up, and it becomes really helpful to have some kindness with yourself to make sure that you're going to be okay and be able to address those things further for how you want to handle those things, right? So really start inward and work your way out. One thing that I definitely know that I can work on better is being able to listen without response and just kind of really take in and really be present when other people are talking. This is something I've struggled with for a while. I like to think of myself as a smart person, but then I chime in way too much and I don't let people finish their story. So that's something I do want to work on and being a little bit more kind this month. Or to pause before reacting. A lot of times people will do things to get a stir out of you just to see how you'll react, and it'll actually bother them more if you don't. So you can always take a moment. We're only really responsible for how we react to things. So we're not responsible for what happens to us. Again, the building I'm in right now could just blow up for whatever reason. Um, I don't know. Anything could happen. Certainly the aliens that we know that are apparently out in the sea. Um, start blowing stuff up. I'm not in control of any of that. But how I react to those things, that becomes me, right? Am I going to be more angry? Am I going to look to be more helpful? What am I going to do in response to that? Is a lot more of my character than when something happens. So again, if somebody like walks up and just punches me in the face for no reason, I don't have to go ahead and hit back. One of the things I wanted to train into is to be able to get hit and just not care. It just makes it so much more fun that way. It just doesn't phase me. At least hopefully I can get to that spot. You can always look for opportunities to help. There's a Mr. Rogers quote that I've talked about in the past when they say, when there's something going on, look for helpers. And I think it's really important for us to recognize when we see other people helping, it can inspire us to do the same. So on it being this time for Giving Tuesday, one of the other instructors, Emmy, was actually helping out another member. So Rachel owns this company, or runs this company, I guess it's the same way, a nonprofit for animal transport. And now they worked on a couple of fundraisers together because, again, just looking for ways to help each other out. So again, to build more awareness around this other nonprofit or to kind of work through and help other people. So we were working with Cradles to Crayons for a long time, but they kind of stopped picking up on a regular basis. So it just kind of made us look like we had a big garbage heap. So we kind of stopped working with them. But maybe sometime next year we can restart it and then kind of set up a regular cadence where they'll reach out to us and say, hey, we're in the area. We might just be too far for them for something, right? We could just be out of the way. So looking for opportunities to help. And again, with the company, we're looking to do as much, other help and outreach as we possibly can. So any other members who happen to stumble across this one, even though I try to promote bits and pieces of it, again, if there's a good cause that you're working towards, bring in the flyers. Like the idea is to build and create community, get events where we can go and be more of ourselves so we don't have to go ahead and behave inappropriately. So I guess case in point for a good example, if I'm invited to go to something a lot more positive and helpful to other people and I have the time to go do it, it would then stop me from potentially just going out drinking instead. So again, those kinds of nice ways to go ahead and help each other. You might not even realize you're helping somebody else out for that one. So kindness is one of the simple yet most powerful ways that we can make the world a better place. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create positive change, one small act at a time. And while kindness may not always be easy, it's always worth it. This week, let's challenge ourselves to be kinder, not when it's just convenient, but especially when it's difficult. So again, it can be very, very hard to be kind when you're angry. So it's just that, again, recognizing, practicing some self-kindness, kind of recognizing like, hey, how are you feeling within yourself? And then maybe taking a second to pause before you react and really assess like what you're going to do next. Let's look for opportunities to lift each other up, both inside and outside the studio. Remember, kindness isn't about perfection. It's all about intention. And the more we practice it, the more it'll become a natural part of who we are. And being kind is kind of trained like a skill, right? If you deal with a bunch of people who want to be jerks all the time, then you're probably going to be a jerk, right? This is the five smokers theory. But if you hang out with a bunch of kind people who are driven to go do this work, you'll probably find yourself in a good spot to start helping some others. So hopefully this is something that can be kind of helpful to you. And on that note, good luck.